We have been working very hard to get changes on Niagara Falls Boulevard after an awful lot of deadly crashes there. And yesterday we showed you how the DOT is now planning to make some changes.
And the towns there are talking to each other as well. But one thing we heard from a lot of you is the problem with jaywalkers, something that we saw in our own video.
Yeah, it was a little shocking. So tonight, Emily Lampa took questions to state police as we continue to hold people in power accountable.
In the state of New York, crossing the road outside of a crosswalk isn't against the law, but if you're venturing in those areas, cars, trucks, and SUVs have the right of way.
If there's no pedestrian crosswalk, the pedestrian has to yield the right of way to the vehicle.
If you're caught breaking this law, Trooper James O'Callahan says you can be ticketed.
In terms of enforcement, is that difficult for you?
It is very difficult to enforce that law. You have to see it happen because it's a violation that has to occur in a police officer's presence. As far as tickets issued to pedestrians, it's not going to be a large number.
O'Callahan says when a police cruiser is around, people often don't jaywalk, but he admits most traffic officers patrol in unmarked vehicles, and marked cruisers are dedicated to emergency response.
Is there anything that police can do to kind of deter that behavior?
Well, the biggest deterrent shouldn't be the fine. The biggest deterrent could be if you're involved in a pedestrian accident, there's a very great chance that you're going to be significantly injured or killed.
We here at 2 on Your Side wanted to see overall what pedestrians and drivers are dealing with, so we sent up our drone for a bird's eye view of the boulevard. As we've been reporting over the past week, you can now see how large sections of the boulevard have no sidewalks or shoulders. There are the shopping districts and residential communities butted up against the 5, sometimes 7-lane highway with an average speed limit of 45 miles per hour. Now, toss in those pedestrians darting across traffic.
That doesn't give a vehicle a lot of time to stop.
2 on Your Side obtained crash data for the boulevard from Amherst Police, which shows there were 66 pedestrian-involved crashes over the past 5 years. Of the total number of collisions, only 22 happened at intersections. That means at least 2/3 of pedestrian crashes were mid-block.
Now you've got this cumulative evidence over these last several years of these tragedies happening, and so it is time to act now. It is time for us to, to get the mechanisms in place that can create the positive changes there.
Phil Haberstroh is an advocate for walkable communities, educating folks about safe pedestrian practices through his nonprofit Be Well. He also lives in the town of Tonawanda and has been acutely aware of the dangers along Niagara Falls Boulevard. Although he's hopeful over local and state pledges to make improvements, he says pedestrians need to be held accountable as well.
But if we want to change the culture, that's a little longer-term project.
Now, we spoke at length with Haberstroh about improvements that need to be made around the boulevard. And coming up ahead at 6, we'll tell you why he says success rides on residents and local communities being involved in the improvement process. Emily Lampa, Channel 2 News.